So I'm going to give you a summary of the short-term outlook. As you probably figured out by now, I'm saying that REOs are going to become pretty scarce. Instead of a glut, they're getting scarcer than most people realize, and certainly I'm warning those people who deal in trustee sales and REOs that they really need to find another line of business to take over. Or if they like dealing in REOs, there's plenty of states on that chart that are on the left-hand side, so move to New Jersey. Short sales are going to be with us for a long time. The banks are devoting lots more resource to doing short sales, and that big gap between what people paid for a home and what it's worth now is not going to disappear anytime soon. However, we've now got demand far outpacing supply everywhere except in the luxury sector, where I'd say it's about balanced. We were actually seeing a very good luxury sector during the months of March to June, but it's not been that great since. There is no downward pressure on pricing that I can see. And the average price per square foot is moving upwards. I measure it every day, so I'm very tuned into slight movement. So forgive me if I seem excited about what happens in 1 week. That's just the way I am. I'm a real estate nerd. But when things move from 78 to 82, and the price per square foot suggests it's going to go to 84 next month, to me that's a significant upward move, which I've been watching for a long time. And it fits in with the theory that it should move 12 to 18 months after the change in supply and demand. So it's behaving as it's facing. And it's particularly true of the low end. Now, when the public wake up and realize what is happening, I don't know. I don't really predict long term. I'm not an economist, I'm just a mathematician. And sometimes I look like I'm forecasting because I'm just measuring today's numbers instead of 3 months ago like everybody else. But at some point, the press has to pick up on the fact that prices are going up. And my theory is that normal people will then say, oh, you mean if I don't buy now, I'm going to be paying more? And right now is when I've got the lowest mortgage rates in living memory. So what are the reasons why I'm not going to buy a house or upgrade the one? And suddenly we could see a big flood of buyers come into the market just as we've got hardly anything to sell them. So it could turn into turmoil and a kind of feeding frenzy that starts at the bottom and starts moving quickly to the top. Now, I only say could. I don't know what's going to happen, and there's still an enormous amount of negativity amongst the general public. But the facts do not back them up, and eventually the facts will stay the same and opinions will change. So I finish with another quote from my friend Josh Billings, who, by the way, was the second most famous person coming out with phrases about the same time as Mark Twain. So he has the unfortunate fact that almost everything that he said that's clever, people believe, was said by Mark Twain. I like talking about supply and demand, so I love this quote. As scarce as truth is, the supply has always been in excess of the demand. And I'm afraid you will find that. Even when you tell your clients the truth, they will probably still cling on to what they read in the paper instead, because they say, well, you're a realtor, you would be telling them that anyway. It's always a good time to buy a house. And I think, no, it's not a good time to buy a house. It's actually a really great time to buy about 5 houses. Yeah. So with that, I'll hand it over for any questions. I don't know if we've got much time for questions.